5. Okay. Okay. Can I get a motion to reconvene in open session? Moved by Sandy, seconded by Jim. All those in favor? Thank you. We're reconvened in open session. Before we begin, we do acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral people. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today, their achievements, and their contributions to our community. We offer this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples of Canada. Okay. I don't know what we're seeing.
Someone.
It should be on here. Anyone down? We're still open. Okay. Oh, it seems to have stopped. Is it? Good. Okay. Just as we start, any declarations of pecuniary interest from the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. Closed session recommendations, there are none. We have items 7.1 to 7.7 in the consent agenda. Is there any items that anyone would like to take off or discuss separately? The community consultation report. I have some note here. Megan, there was a note there on the community consultation. Oh, okay. So maybe Chief, if I can get you, yeah, this is on the community consultation regarding the development of the budget for 2026. I don't know, Chief, if you have any brief comments on that.
Good morning, Chair McLean and members of the board. We've had some internal dialogue with our leadership team and also the board, just recognizing the past couple of years we've advanced community consultations for the budget process. We have had success with having members of the community engage with the board to provide feedback on service delivery, strategic priorities, and the cost and efficiency of policing. So we support the recommendation to hold 2 public engagement sessions as we've done the past 2 years. We believe there's been sufficient opportunity for members of the public to engage the board, and also a parallel opportunity to provide written feedback and suggestions to the board on budget direction. So we support scheduling those into the fall in concert with what has been done the past 2 years. So we support that recommendation.
That's just over to you, Chief, to execute, because I think that's what we've done in the past. So that's great. Okay, so I need a mover and seconder for the consent items. Moved by Karen Redmond, seconded by Sandy. All those in favor? That's approved. The correspondence, there is none. Moving on, police services reports. There is none. Chief of Police reports. 11.1, community safety and well-being. The action table update, and I think Mandy's joining us. Chief, anything to start us off?
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is one of 3 reports this month. So Dr. Manny Williams, our Manager of Strategic Services, will be providing the monthly feature for the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. And she's going to walk us through some interesting metrics in terms of the various priorities and actions that are alive right now across the region. So turn it over to you, Mandy, to walk us through, and then look forward to potentially some discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief, and good morning, Chair McLean and members of the board. I will now be sharing my screen so I can present to you today a brief related to the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan, the Intimate Partner Violence, Gender-Based Violence, and Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's and Girls Action Table. And hopefully you're seeing that screen now. Perfect, thank you. So framing our conversation in the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan, intimate partner violence, gender-based violence, missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls were declared an epidemic by Regional Council in September of 2023 and adopted as a community safety wellbeing plan priority by the steering committee in October of 2023. And today we're going to review some 2024 data that has been provided from a provider survey that was distributed to agencies who are not working within the hub model of the Family Violence Project. So these are agencies that are outside of the Family Violence Project. And in 2025, a survey was sent to 24 agencies located in the region of Waterloo who are providing services or programs related to intimate partner violence, gender-based violence, or murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls. The purpose of this was to develop and share the existing landscape of providers to help better understand the network of agencies, the types of programs offered, where they're located, and to determine if there is pathways between these agencies. It also helps to better understand our collective capacity as a region as we focus our efforts against these forms of violence. There were 24 agencies contacted, 11 of which completed the survey, so slightly under half. And in 2024, the respondents provided services to a total of 4,800 adults and about 1,800 children. And they reported partnerships with 26 other agencies and organizations. Additionally, the 11 respondents delivered 31, provided 31 different programs. According to our survey responses, these 11 organizations delivered programming and services in 29 unique locations across the region, with most of them located in Kitchener. The survey respondents indicated that the 31 programs delivered covered various levels of intervention from primary response, crisis and risk, intervention, prevention, and social development. So the majority of these programs fell within areas of social development and intervention, and the least of these resources were located in primary response. Agencies were requested to map their work onto the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan framework at the regional level, and 31 programs found 62 points of alignment, with the most frequent being truth and reconciliation and circles of support. Survey responses indicated that 31 of the programs, 48%, were dependent on grant funding. 9 programs were delivered with base funding, and 6 programs were considered to be unfunded. 1 program indicated that it had both grant and base funding to support it. Based on the information provided by the responding agencies, the services available in the region of Waterloo are well connected to the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan framework. Additionally, a large portion of programming is focused on the areas of education and awareness alongside social development, while primary responses and crisis interventions are lowest amongst these agencies. Lastly, 68% of funding to these programs is either grant dependent or unfunded. The survey information provides a basis for dialogue around the action table and within the community to find opportunities to create pathways to services, align funding priorities, and programs to better serve those who have been impacted or at risk of being impacted by interpartner violence, gender-based violence, and missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the update. Any questions or comments from the board? Karen Quigley-Hoffs.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the presentation. It was particularly notable, I thought, that there was a high percentage of services that focused on social development, and I think that's really a positive thing for the community. Quick question. This isn't really specific to the survey, but kind of aligns with the subject area. Are there indicators that are collected either provincially or nationally from each community area that would allow some comparison between incidents, et cetera, of intimate partner violence.
So I'm sorry, are you talking in terms of like the rates of incidents or more like the effectiveness of interventions?
No, a rate, like incidence rate.
Yeah, so we do have incidence rates coming through Statistics Canada. The UCR coding would be kind of the most standardized way of counting this, but amongst different service providers, they would probably share information about, you know, what their occurrences or you know what their clientele or the people that seek support might look like.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay, other questions, comments? Thank you. These are helpful updates, and I know how important this is both to the chief and to the service itself, but also important for the community. So thank you for the update. We'll move on to 11.2, which is the Waterloo Region Police Service Annual Report. I think Sherry's joining us, and Chief, you're leading this one off.
That's correct. So just displaying the presentation for the board. Very pleased to launch this item and introduce our Director of Corporate Affairs, Sherry Greeno, who's going to walk us through an introduction of our annual report, the process to collect and assemble it, and then I'll walk through some of the specifics of the report itself. So over to you, Sherry. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Chair McLean and members of the board. As the Chief said, we're very proud to have this opportunity to present our 2024 annual report to you. As you know, under the Community Safety and Policing Act, we are obligated to publish an annual report that highlights the board's strategic plan and objectives, as well as our operational outcomes, achievements, challenges, and priorities over the past year. This report also highlights our service's vision, mission, and values, which are centered around upholding public trust and confidence, as well as ensuring that everyone in Waterloo Region is safe and feels safe. And one way that we find that we are able to assist with this is through our commitment to communicate to the community about who we are and what we do. This annual report is just one way we are able to demonstrate our efforts to ensure the community is informed and involved. Next slide, please. Our commitment to building a safer and more connected community is also demonstrated in our online presence, as you see here. We continue to be a leading police service when it comes to our social media platforms, with large followings on X, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. In 2024, we launched several proactive educational and public safety campaigns to make the community aware of ongoing crime trends and any issues that may be affecting them at the time. And as you can see from this slide, we were able to reach millions of people with our messaging. Most impressive here for me on this slide is the fact that our posts were displayed on user feeds more than 65 million times in 2024, which is especially important when it comes to our commitment to enhancing public trust, confidence, and safety in the community. And to give you a little bit more insight and a behind the scenes look at our different units and branches, I will turn it over to the Chief. You're on mute, Chief.
Thank you very much. So thanks, Sherry. So the annual report obviously provides an overview of all of our activities, the strategic priorities and investments, and it does focus on a lot of numbers. But within those numbers are many stories, and I'll be focusing on a few just focal points of interest that illuminate the investments and the incredible outputs and commitment of our members. So looking at the strength of our organization, we can see that we're about 1,350 members heading into 2025, serving a community of over 700,000 people. And the vast majority of our incident responses start in the communications center. So providing an overview of close to 350,000 calls for service. A large number of those are emergency 911 calls, and then our other types of calls generated within emergency communications, non-emergency response, online reporting, and other walk-ins to our various points of contact. The report provides, as I said, a myriad of statistics in terms of the outputs, the types of crimes, the number of interactions that we have charges, arrests, the culminations of investigations through a number of voluminous explanations in terms of the units themselves. But when we look at areas such as frontline policing, acknowledging that the vast majority of our neighborhood policing response is what the community sees, knows, and interacts with every day, there are some in-depth, important stories to tell about the structure of neighborhood policing and the sophistication of some of our teams, such as our community engagement unit, which is a group of very focused individuals who work on some of the more complex issues related to housing, homelessness, and mental health response, and also focused on youth engagement in many ways. We also have our Direction Action Response team, which is a versatile, action-oriented team rooted within neighborhood policing that has a regional mobility to whether it's compliance for people across the region and focusing our efforts on a number of crime response and proactive and preventative outputs. These are the types of teams embedded in neighborhood policing that really provide that enhanced, focused effort every day. The annual report walks through some of the sophisticated work of our specialized investigative units, such as the General Investigations Unit, the Break, Enter, and Vehicle Theft Team, and also areas such as our Commercial Fraud Unit and Cybercrime Unit. Within the pages of the document speaks to the complexity of these investigations, the challenges that our members face every day in navigating both the real world and the online sphere of investigations, which is becoming increasingly digital in many forms, requiring us to invest and to innovate and to carry out our business differently in the new era that we police in. You will also recognize the incredible work of specialized units focused on some of our highest levels of victimization, such as drugs and firearms in our major crime unit, recognizing that gun violence and firearms-related offenses as connected to organized crime resulted in 22 shootings in 2024, resulting in 5 homicides, of which 4 of those involved firearms. So within the pages of the annual report, we walk through a general overview of the sophistication of our investigative services, and also a very detailed focus on our traffic services unit and our commitment to road safety, working not only within our abilities, but also with the Ontario Provincial Police and also the road safety efforts across Waterloo region with our municipal partners, including automated speed enforcement programs. Also focusing on the theme of community safety and well-being, our intimate partner violence unit and special victims unit are working hand in hand with the priorities of the community safety and well-being plan and the necessary partnership models that are integral to advancing away from just response to moving towards prevention and social development in many forms, trying to enhance the overall health and well-being of our community. Within the embeddedness of our police service commitment is our equity, diversity, and inclusion commitments that looks at the safety of our workplace, our commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion within our own membership, but also how that carries out into the work that we do in the community to ensure that our members are happy, healthy, and safe, and we have an inclusive environment representing the community that we serve, but also to be informed and working in partnership along lines of meaningful contributions to reconciliation, addressing systemic racism and discrimination through things such as our race-based and identity-based data collection strategy and our commitment to combating hate in partnership with our community. The annual report also walks through many points of recognition and awards received by our members at local, provincial, and national levels, and very proud of the contributions that the Waterloo Regional Police Service make every day to the profession of policing on those various levels. We also recognize, although we have over 1,300 full-time, part-time, and temporary members, we're also bolstered by the legions of volunteers that support us through a number of units, recognizing auxiliary policing units, our ceremonial band, our police chorus, and all those other volunteer groups such as victim services and so on that really make up the lifeblood of the Waterloo Regional Police Service. Throughout the report, we also signify the incredible commitment to engagement that our police service has with our community, such as our 4 annual badge ceremonies that we take to various points within the community, our incredible programs such as the Stuff a Cruiser campaign, the Backpack Challenge program, and our commitment and partnership with Special Olympics. And it's a look back within 2024 of our proud achievement of hosting the Special Olympic Spring Games, which was a tremendous success and a legacy. So although I mentioned the annual report launching today is comprised of many numbers, many outputs, and the recognition of the work of much of our team, it's also a tribute to the investment within our community of policing in Waterloo Region, the strategic investments of this board, and also our partnerships across Waterloo Region in so many ways. So very proud of the achievement of our service, very proud of the corporate communications team that has brought all this work into one document. And I look forward to also providing a presentation to the Regional Council next week that will be an opportunity to engage in a more public manner in terms of that mid-year point update. So subject to any questions and insights from the board, thank you for the opportunity to present our annual report for 2024.
Karen.
So Chief, it's really hard to sort of pick out one place to highlight, but I know that we have badging ceremonies, at least a couple every year. I'm always blown away by the diversity of background, of education of these amazing people that want to join WRPS. And anecdotally, I've never been at one where somebody didn't mention WRPS staff and how they set them up for success when they go to police college by what they provide them as mentorship and guidance. I'm wondering if you can just highlight some of the initiatives that the WRPS takes to make sure that our recruits, when they go to police college, come out the other end successful.
Absolutely. Although the recognition came in 2025 and it'll be a future feature in next year's annual report, we're really proud to be recognized as an employer of choice within, with best employers within Southern Ontario and this part of the province. And to your question and point, Chair Edmund, a lot of that is investment in the health, wellness, and safety for our members. That from the minute that we are recruiting to onboarding to training and then supporting members through the organization, our sole focus is on the health and wellness and well-being of our members as they progress through their career. It's often said that can enhance the experience for our members as a part of our organization. We know they're going to serve the community so well. So we are very selective. We are very attuned to the amount of talent that is out there. And we know for the type of work that we do, that those investments that the board and our community makes in the quality of our members and their experience here are significant ones, but we know that the stakes are high, and we'll continue to look for and recruit the best and to support them through hopefully decades of dedicated public service.
Other comments? I would just echo, I mean, I think we had 3 badging ceremonies this year, plus we had one for auxiliary officers. I think, Karen, you were at that one. So it's always inspiring for the officers that are getting their badge, but also the volunteers and the auxiliary and the amount of hours that they put in is incredible, let alone the band and the chorus and what they do in the community. And the interaction with community members and community groups. I think one of the things that the report highlights, but we see it every day. And I think the visibility of Chief, you and your senior staff, but folks boots on the ground every day, working with community groups and becoming more connected with the community is something I think we're always proud of, and I think it makes a big difference in connecting policing and safety to community development as well. So thanks for the update on the report. It is available. Maybe Sherry or Chief, where can people find it?
Okay.
Sherry's
It's
being
uploaded as we speak online, so people can go online to view it anytime this afternoon.
What's the website? WRPS. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that update. I think we'll move on. Chief, is it over to you? I think we're at monthly Chief of Police report. Do we? Like I said, I was just testing the group here. 11.3. Why don't we go back and do the update on the Waterloo Region Public Safety Communications Center, and that is the Chief and Inspector Rousseau. Chief, to start us off, my apologies.
Thank you, Chair McLean. I'll hand it over to Deputy Fenton for a brief introduction and look forward to this item. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair McLean and members of the board. I'm happy to introduce Inspector Jamie Brousseau as he gets set up, who is leading this exciting new project for us with the support from Kirsten Hand and our Director of Finance and Assets, and Chris Gibson, our Manager of Facilities. Jamie has quickly immersed himself in this project and has become a subject matter expert on the complexities of building a state-of-the-art public safety communications center. Today, Jamie will be providing the board a brief update on the progress of this important project for public safety communications in our region and beyond. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, and we're also looking forward to that update.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to come and update you on this exciting and important public safety project. The PSCC offers the region an opportunity not just to design and build a new facility, but the potential to refine the delivery of essential 911 communications and emergency service response. Next slide. Excuse me, next slide, please. The vision for the PSCC goes all the way back to 2007, when local emergency services leadership began to question if there was a better way of structuring 911 service delivery. That vision has lived on through the decades since because it's rooted in sound reason and logic. This vision was presented to the board in an open report and presentation in October of 2024, and the board unanimously supported its continued pursuit. Next slide, please. Currently, there are 3 separate dispatch centers handling 911 calls in Waterloo Region. The WRPS operates the primary public safety answering point, or PSAP, on behalf of the region. Kitchener Fire Department operates a secondary PSAP, dispatching all the local fire departments for the cities and townships. And the Ministry of Health operates a secondary PSAP at the Central Ambulance Communication Center, or CAC, dispatching ambulances in Waterloo Region, Wellington County, and Dufferin County. The current model of 911 service delivery is best described as a downstreaming model, answered by a call taker. Depending on what service is requested or needed, the call taker may keep that call and dispatch police, or forward it on to the ambulance or fire communication center. A call taker at one of those secondary PSAPs would then manage the call and dispatch the relevant resources. From the map on the slide, you can see that all of these communication centers are in different locations, as well as operating and capital costs paid for through the local tax levies. We believe that co-locating these centers into one single facility offers a significant opportunity to optimize 911 service delivery and emergency services response in Waterloo Region. It's important to point out that this vision is not the WRPS's alone. It's been supported in the findings of consultants that have looked at the structure of 911 communications in Waterloo Region, as well as past and current leaders of local emergency services. Next slide, please. This slide just shows you a breakdown of the emergency occurrences in Waterloo Region. You can see that a significant percentage of calls involves a police response, therefore they remain with the WRPS. A modest percentage of calls goes to the CAC for paramedic services response, and a smaller percentage of calls goes to the Kitchener Fire Department for response from any of the fire departments in the cities or townships. Next slide, please. There have been some exciting updates to share on this project. Dialogue has been selected as the design consultant or architect for this project. They designed our new central division and have extensive experience in public safety projects, including communication centers. We are currently in the functional programming phase of the project, which is to say that we're gathering data on the number and types of spaces we need for employees and for the building to serve the functions that will be carried out there. As part of this phase, we are visiting other similar facilities to consider best practices in design and operations. And this includes visiting other centers that have successfully navigated the co-location process. We've retained the services of Barkwell Holland Group, leading consultant on emergency communications. Their scope of work is to thoroughly examine the benefits of a co-located dispatch model here in Waterloo Region. The local fire departments, paramedic services in Waterloo Region, Wellington and Dufferin counties, as well as the leadership of the 3 cities and 4 townships in the region. In spring 2025, we concluded the construction of a new backup PSCC at our central division. This facility replaces one that is well past end of life. It is the facility where next generation 911 technology is being tested and will go live in the fall of 2025. The new backup PSCC provides the WRPS with an improved training facility for our new communicators. It has a modern layout, advanced technology, and features characteristics and furnishings that support employee wellness, such as a dedicated quiet room. Finally, the new backup PSCC offers the WRPS, as well as any other agency that elects to partner in the new PSCC, a secure and redundant secondary location. I included a picture of that location here. Next slide, please. There are many potential benefits of co-location, and I've only listed a few here. And some will be realized organically once co-location is complete, and the partners are working together to identify opportunities to improve efficiency and effectiveness. Currently, incident response is coordinated when resources arrive on scene. Being co-located would give us the opportunity to create a more coordinated response at the time the call is received. The enhanced communication that comes as a result of partners working in closer proximity means that we can give shape to call response earlier, allowing for better management of resources, as well as command and control of incidents. The PSCC is planned to have a next generation real-time operations center, or RTOC. This unit will be the nerve center of the PSCC, gathering intelligence that will
Jamie, if you can hear us, Jamie?
the operational awareness of all partners.
Sorry?
The
Okay.
RTOC will be a focal point of new.
Okay, we're not getting any of this. Why don't we take a... Okay, I'm not sure if anyone watching can hear, but we're having a hard time hearing. I guess there's some technical difficulties. We're going to take a 5-minute break and then restart. So maybe just mute him for now.
Mr. Brooks, looking for me too. I might suggest we even back up a couple slides if we've got time and let them because I think we missed quite a bit of the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's start at that slide there, where because that's where it started to go off.
That's where we started to drown.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yay.
There we go. Okay. Okay, we know you're not David Mullick, but you're in his office. Let's start on this slide, which is the PCC developments. That's when it started to really sound like you're in a dunk tank. So,
Okay, great. So there's been some exciting developments to share on the project. Dialogue has been selected as the design consultant or architect. They designed our new central division and have extensive experience in public safety projects, including communication centers. We're currently in the functional programming phase of the project, which is to say that we're gathering data on the number and types of spaces we need for employees, as well as ensuring that the building will serve the functions that we intend to carry out there. As part of the phase, we are visiting other similar facilities to consider best practices in design and operations. And this includes visiting other centers that have successfully navigated the co-location process. We've retained the services of Barkwell Holland Group, which is a leading consultant on emergency communications. And their scope of work is to examine the benefits of a co-located dispatch model here in Waterloo Region. As part of the study, we've offered participation to the local fire departments, paramedic services from Waterloo Region, Wellington County, and Dufferin County, as well as the leadership from the 3 cities and 4 townships in the region. In spring of 2025, we concluded the construction of a new backup public safety communication center. This facility replaces one that is very much end of life, and it is the facility where next generation 911 is being tested and it will go live in the fall of 2025. The new backup facility provides the WRPS with an improved training facility for our new communicators. It has a modern layout, advanced technology, and features that support employee wellness. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the new backup PSCC offers the WRPS and any agency that participates in the new PSCC a secure and redundant secondary location that has ample room for future growth. And you can see a picture of it here on this slide. Next slide, please. There are many potential benefits of co-location, and I've only listed a few here, and I'll go through them. It's important to note that some benefits can be forecast, and some will be realized organically once co-location is complete, and the partners are working together to identify opportunities to improve efficiency and effectiveness. Currently, incident response is coordinated when resources arrive on scene. Being co-located would give us the opportunity to create a more coordinated response at the time the call is actually received. The enhanced communication that comes as a result of partners working in closer proximity means that we can give shape to call response earlier, and this allows us to better manage resources as well as command and control of incidents. The PSCC is planned to have a next generation real-time operations center, or RTOC, and this unit will be the nerve center of the facility. It will allow us to gather intelligence that will serve to increase the operational awareness of all the partners that are present. The RTOC will be a focal point for new and emerging technology that will increase the partners' understanding of what is occurring on ground and help them determine the resources that are necessary to respond and mitigate emergencies. The RTOC is planned to have access to video from remotely piloted aerial systems or drones, CCTV cameras, license plate reading cameras, body-worn and in-car cameras, among other potential sources. One of those being next generation 911 phase 3, which is anticipated to be video to 911 capability. The RTOC could also include advanced software applications such as enhanced weather mapping technology or business intelligence tools. Really, the capacity of the RTOC to positively influence emergency response is a journey of both time and the application of new technology, and may only be limited by our imaginations. The WRPS is proposing that the partners pay a one-fee lease arrangement based on cost recovery. The goal is not to profit, but to ensure the continued performance of the facility as it ages over time. The PSCC will be housed on the WRPS headquarters campus, where there's a 24/7 police and paramedic services presence currently. It's going to be close to mission critical infrastructure for 911. That includes voice radio and computer-aided dispatch, as well as main 911 lines and fiber optic lines that support 911. The PSCC is being planned as a standalone facility, completely redundant in all of the systems present. It will be built to post-disaster standards, ensuring that it can continue to operate through natural disasters or human-generated events. Co-location offers the partners the opportunity to procure new technology as a collective entity, and this will result in the ability to purchase better technology at reduced costs. The WRPS has extensive experience with this type of model through the Emergency Services Cooperative of Ontario, which has delivered proof of concept for decades. Perhaps most importantly and finally, The PSCC will be designed with features that are focused on employee wellness and health, so that employees can continue to deliver essential services while being safeguarded from occupational injuries. Next slide, please. I'd like to close out the presentation by providing an example of how co-location could serve the partners and enhance service delivery in our region. So consider this. The WRPS is aware of a small public demonstration that's occurring at a city hall in one of the cities. The RTOC is monitoring the demonstration using CCTV cameras in the area. A physical police response is not planned unless it is determined to be required. The RTOC observes on camera that a much larger group has turned out than expected, and some of those demonstrators are wearing dark clothing, face or gas masks, and carrying heavy backpacks. That group is beginning to take over the demonstration from the peaceful protesters. The RTOC continues to monitor while they begin to organize a patrol response to the area, while also mobilizing a public order response. The RTOC updates WRPS communications, and they liaise directly with fire and paramedic services in the communication center to share information, discuss potential resourcing, and deployment of those services. The RTOC sends 2 drones to the area as part of the Drone as First Responder program. This gives the RTOC an overhead view of the crowd, as well as the spaces surrounding City Hall. Patrol resources begin arriving on scene, and their body-worn camera and dash camera systems are feeding additional video footage into the RTOC. The RTOC discovers that a small group of demonstrators are in a back alley behind the City Hall, huddled against a wall. The group suddenly walks away, leaving behind a backpack. On camera, the RTOC observes a large explosion occur, a portion of the wall blow outward, and a part of the structure collapses. A large fire begins and appears to be spreading to the rest of the building. Obviously, this is a significant event, and I could spend a long time discussing the intricacies of what could occur next. These are just a couple of highlights. The RTOC could continue to coordinate a response to this incident, including police, fire, and paramedic services. We could continue to utilize CCTV footage from drones, fixed body-worn and dash cams. It could also be receiving video from citizens calling 911 and live streaming over their smartphones. Overall, the RTOC would continue to be the eyes on this event, given its unique perspective and capabilities. The intelligence gathered could continue to be passed down to leadership on the ground, as well as leadership in each of the respective services, so that we can ensure that there's a robust response that includes all necessary resources to ensure public safety. The RTOC could have access to evacuation plans for City Hall and the surrounding buildings to continue to support that effort. The RTOC could have access to advanced weather mapping to help gauge wind speeds or the movement of smoke carrying dangerous toxins. The drones themselves could be equipped with infrared capabilities that could help fire departments assess the properties of the fire and determine how best to concentrate their resources. The Major Incident Support Center that's in the PSCC could be stood up very quickly to allow for longer-term, fully coordinated response by a multitude of agencies, including ones beyond police, fire, and paramedic services. The MISC could have access to all the same technology, video feeds, and resources from the RTOC so that they would have full operational awareness and capabilities. The leaders in the MISC could use the new media center in the PSCC to conduct press conferences and reassure citizens on the safety of the community without the need to leave the building. There are many elements of this example that we could tease out here, and I know while some of these may seem fantastical, I would say to you that they are all possible. The point I am trying to make is that the PSCC will have the ability to leverage technology, whether it's existing, new, or currently unconceived, and this has significant potential to increase operational awareness and performance for all the partners present. Next slide, please. In closing, the end goal of the PSCC is to enhance emergency service delivery to all citizens of Waterloo Region, whether they require response from police, fire, or paramedic services. I believe the example I just presented demonstrates the PSCC's potential to achieve that outcome. thank you again for the opportunity. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for that. And we had our real-time emergency here in the board meeting when the IT didn't, or the internet stopped working. Any questions or comments from the board? Chair Evan.
If I can just comment, I think at the very beginning of the presentation, I think this is very exciting news. And as somebody who represents this community, I go to a lot of neighborhood and community-wide festivals. And I was at one of several actually over the past few weeks, but one of them is an over 40-year festival that for the very first time we're putting bollards in to make sure that nobody was driving into a crowd. So I think we have to recognize that we often talk about being 1 million in 2051. The reality is we're growing and we have big city problems. And what happens provincially, nationally, and globally actually reverberates in our community. So I think this kind of coordination, Jamie did a great job of talking about one that was very complex, but I think as citizens want to celebrate throughout the region, it's really important to know that they have this backstop. One of the questions I wanted to ask, and I think this is the NG 911, and I don't know that we have the capability now, but you did mention about multiple calls on cell phones when there was a single event. And I know that there was something that happened in Toronto, and I listened to a member of the Toronto Police Board talking about the fact that somebody was put on hold because they were flooded with all of those calls. Will the new NG 911 have the ability to text back to calls to say if you're calling about X event, we're already on it? It seemed to me a really logical way to sort of lower the temperature for people who are trying to be good citizens and report events.
Chief, I don't know if you want to respond to that, or do you want me to respond?
Go ahead, Jamie. Yeah, thanks.
I will admit that I'm not fully up to speed on all the capabilities that NG 911 will deliver. It hasn't been my project, but my understanding is that the system and the technology allows for, flexibility in design and control of events that we currently don't have with analog 911 systems. So, things like I stand to be corrected by anybody who's here, but things like the ability to create geofencing around events and control how we manage call volume in relation to those are features that exist either now in existing systems or into the future. But in terms of your exact example, Chair Redmond, I'm not sure I could speak intelligently.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but I think it's something that we need to aspire to continue to make sure that citizens feel safe as well as are being safe. So thanks for this presentation.
I guess just feeding on that, under the Police Act, it's a responsibility of the police service to provide 911, and so Next Gen 911 is I think it was referred to earlier by someone, I think it was you, Chair Rebin, as the spine of the 911 response, which is tiered response, comes into police, and then it may get triaged to fire or paramedics. And so I think it's encouraging to at least have the conversation of it makes all kinds of sense, whether it's a natural disaster or some sort of a major incident, to have leadership of fire and police and EMS for certain all in the same room to be able to coordinate faster, efficient services. So it makes sense intuitively. I guess one question, it wasn't mentioned, and I'm not advocating, I'm just wondering the other part that sometimes comes into 911 are bylaw calls. I know they're supposed to go somewhere else, but a lot of times there may be bylaw calls that come in. Is it going to be designed with the co-location in mind for future of when there may be other technologies or better coordination between the three services, but also things like bylaw, or maybe it's mental health, or there could be other aspects of this? Is that kind of this co-location model of bringing the services that citizens may require kind of in one place, so there's faster, more effective, more efficient triaging of what services are required? Is that kind of the longer term vision of having this communication center and having all the right folks in the same place?
Yes, I believe it is. We are currently working with the cities to discuss, and cities and townships to discuss bylaw services. Obviously, responding to mental health events, and the chief has spoken extensively about this, is something that we are always looking to be partnering and discussing to say, what's the appropriate agency? How do we respond? How do we create a different strategy for responding to those calls? All of that has the potential to live in this facility by design.
Okay, well, I think it's great that there are conversations starting. I think it doesn't hurt anyone to have the conversation about, say, on the road to 1 million people in fairly short order. What's the best way to deliver services most effectively for the community? And I think this is an exciting, at least, discussion to have of who may want to be part of that. So, sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, through you, Chair McLean. Thank you for the presentation, Jamie. Quick question. I believe I heard that there would be redundancy service and redundancy location provided to all the agencies that are part of the PSCC, so that to ensure that there is still emergency response on behalf of all agencies in case of a downtime or a disaster. Is that correct? Is that what I heard?
Yes. First of all, the PSCC will be designed to be completely redundant in all its systems, so that the chances of that facility going down are very, very remote. And in the event that it does, we're required to ensure that we have a secondary strategy to provide service. And with our new backup PSCC at Central Division, we have that capability to ensure that we have essentially a two-site solution in the event that we have a catastrophic failure at our new PSCC, which hopefully through design and proper setup, we won't have happen.
Yeah, that's becoming more and more of an issue nowadays than it has been in the past, to ensure that redundancy and secondary support is there. So no, that's all I had. Thanks.
And there's good redundancy and there's bad redundancy. And I think this is the good kind here, right? Of making sure there's backup. So, okay, other questions? Anything else, Inspector or Chief, before we move on? Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate the update, and come back to us as things progress and the consultant and the community has more discussions, because it's certainly something I think we're all eager to explore as much as possible. Thanks, Inspector.
Thank you.
Okay, now, do I have this right? It is actually the chief of, yes, it is. Okay, now I got it. Monthly Chief of Police report, over to Chief Crowell. Monthly Chief of Police report.
Thanks very much, Chair McLean, members of the board. Very proud to provide the monthly Chief of Police report, looking back from May into June. Another busy month of essential operations and some great proactive and community engagement. Looking at some of our high concern events, we had 2 shootings that have occurred in early June. The first one was our 6th shooting incident of the year. It occurred in Kitchener. A group of individuals were outside a residential complex when a young person shot multiple gunshots in an act of intimidation and threat towards another group. Through the course of a 2-day investigation, we were able to identify and arrest a young person in relation to this incident, and there's still ongoing investigation efforts taking course by our General Investigations Unit. A couple days later, we had another shooting incident in Cambridge, where again, another act of intimidation type of gunfire, where multiple shots were fired into a residence by an individual. No physical injuries did occur, but this investigation is ongoing to identify the person involved. Had a very dynamic investigation and arrest that occurred in Cambridge. So on June 12th, officers located and arrested 2 wanted individuals in Cambridge, a 38-year-old male and a 33-year-old male, who were wanted for outstanding charges related to break-and enters, failure to comply with release orders, and outstanding warrants. Ultimately, a Controlled Drugs and Substances Act warrant was executed at a residence in Cambridge, and we located evidence of drug trafficking and several weapons, including improvised conducted energy weapon, replica firearm, pepper spray, and other concerning evidence as well. Looking at road safety efforts, as the warm weather has solidified, our members are out very proactive in our enforcement and visibility. You can see displayed our road safety efforts through the course of May, resulting in 464 speeding charges and other offenses displayed here for you. We recognized members across the province who joined us for a modified and unsafe vehicle course. And through the efforts of education and specification, we laid over about 100 charges through the course of our vehicle investigations. And this really speaks to concerns we receive regularly on behalf of the community about modified vehicles, unsafe vehicles on our roadways. So this is a specialization we're very proud to promote both locally and for services across the province. Recognizing Canada Road Safety Week, we, in our efforts to take on the fatal four offenses and beyond, laid a total of 214 charges. And we've had some great public engagement through social media, displaying the work of our members. In this case, displayed on the screen was a video on distracted driving that to this point has had over 1 million views on social media platforms. We had an amazing turnout to our law enforcement torch run, our annual commitment to the Special Olympics Ontario. And so we had members from across our community join our membership in raising awareness and support for Special Olympics, another great engagement to connect. We were very proud to host our Chief for a Day competition, where we welcomed some fresh blood, fresh energy, and great leadership. We welcomed Chief Taha, Deputy Chief Olivia, and Deputy Chief Arnav, who visited headquarters and had an orientation to all of our units across the organization. And it was a great day to listen, learn, and connect with these young leaders. And we look forward to welcoming them in years to come into our ranks. We also have had an amazing recognition for several of our volunteers. So 3 of our chorus members, Carlo, John, and Bob, received the King Charles III Coronation Medal in recognition of many decades of devoted community service through the police chorus, and very proud of their achievements on our behalf. We're also proud to recognize Pride Month and National Indigenous History Months through many internal and external engagements in celebration and recognition with our community. And as we head into those warm months of summer, our members are out engaging in celebration, in partnership and education, and many points of contact with the community. So we look forward to those engagements rolling through the summer months. And although we'll be taking a pause in July from the next police board report, we will continue to be serving and connecting with the community through the course of the summer. So thanks very much for the opportunity to share some of the amazing efforts of our members, and look forward to any questions or feedback. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chief. Questions, comments from the board? I guess just one. I think it was last Wednesday. Was it last Wednesday? We had the education session for the board, broadly on investigative services, and I thought it was very useful to see, and we a number of the activities that are going on behind the scenes in cybersecurity and how we're connecting a lot of those things to frontline services. I thought it was very useful for us to kind of see how a lot of the, what I would say, in-house policing that goes on here connects with sort of the frontline policing as well. So I don't know if you have any comments on that, Chief, but I thought it was useful, certainly for me, and I think generally colleagues. It's always useful to see it in action. So appreciate the effort to put that together.
Thanks, Chair McLean. Yeah, it was always a great opportunity to provide our board, educational opportunities, and we're very proud to feature the amazing work of our investigative services and intelligence units. We often describe the work that we do as front-facing and engagement with the community, but we also are serving increasingly many capacities that are behind the scenes type work, whether it's cybercrime and policing, tackling organized crime, forensic identification, all these things that are becoming digital footprints for the community that we're serving, but also the work that our members are carrying out. So through Deputy Davis, Superintendent Shana Morris, and Inspector Tibbert and Inspector Lambert, they're leading amazing teams doing incredible work. And we look forward to sharing with our community the outputs and the complexity and sophistication of their work in the months to come. There's a lot of great stories to continue to tell. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. No new business, future agenda items, information items. Just a note to the media, once we've adjourned, members of the media are welcome to log into Zoom. Login details have been provided, where Chief Crowell and myself will be available to take questions from the media. With that, we take a break in July from a board meeting, but we'll see everyone back in August. And with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Jim, seconded by Karen Quigley Hobbs. All those in favor?